It is currently July 9th, 2024. It's 12:03 p.m. and I'm inside of my office where the light source is remaining over the leasing office and not remaining over in its zenith over the top of my head at my front door, which is under both circumstances the scientific impossibility and direct evidence of stalking with a light source, which is a demonic imitation of the natural environment where federal group stalking and monitoring by a corrupt government and a population whose constituents are referred to as legally for the prosecution, the people of the state. And it's exposing demonic activity, and this demonic activity is criminal, and it's occurring in the demonic environment, where I'm showing you a woefully unintelligent depiction. Well, not the depiction. The depiction is not intelligent. The counterfeit environment, this fake environment, meaning a fake sun, the sun that is not stationary all day long, the sun that is not possibly over your head out in Nebraska while it's remaining right here over me at the same property where I woke up this morning, the same address. That is a light source and not the sun. That is what is a woefully unintelligent and false depiction of the natural environment, where it is direct evidence of criminal activity by a corrupt government, and it's occurring in the U.S., revealing what is the truth, not a free society. While the government is engaging in stalking, the government's engaging in surveillance, the government's engaging in what is surveillance also in violation of existing federal statute Title 18, Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2. And the government is doing that with the people of the state who are actually the criminals, the demons in the shoes of that corrupt government. And this is breaking down the whole illusion that the people of the state are American citizens benefiting off of the Bill of Rights, the constitutional protections regarding privacy. And this is speaking to the malice of that system. They are in the shoes of the state, maintaining criminal presence and monitoring in concert with that demon-possessed government. In other words, the government is group stalking on a 24-hour basis everywhere that you're going, in concert with the very population that surrounds you. And this is occurring in the United States. So it's simultaneously exposing demon possession, demonic activity, group stalking. That's what group stalking is, in case you did not know. Group stalking is not just weird stalking because you have a group of people that are following you. It's not a distinct group of people, meaning a specific number of faces. That's not group stalking, and demons are giving that false depiction. They are lying and falsely depicting what the government and what the demon possessed, what Satan itself does not want you to be aware of. And it's a matter of surveillance. And it's occurring amongst a population, a multiplicity of faces that do not have to repeat even one time. As I pass through Kern County, Bakersfield, a demon that's working at the Wiener Schnitzel is group stalking, and they are part of the same entity, whether or not I ever drive by that, go to Kern County ever again. Just for example, it's a multiplicity of faces that does not require repeating being around. In other words, that individual following you everywhere. That's not group stalking. That's traditional stalking. And the demon possessed are engaging in what is group stalking. And this is identified through the demonic behavioral pattern. So this is an identical pattern of conduct amongst a multiplicity of faces. So they're not going to a class and learning how to mimic identical behavior. And that behavior is entirely demented in and of itself. It's demonic behavior. It's demonic behavior that's occurring in a demonic environment. It's a demonic environment where demonic behavior is occurring pursuant to the conduct and the activity and the location of a targeted individual that's being that's remaining subject to this demonic system. That's exposing, on the one hand, public corruption, where the government is stalking you, and the government is stalking you through the people who would like to be identified as individuals in a so-called free society. That whole illusion is broken down. That this is not a free society. This is ongoing surveillance. And the entity is doing it under the masquerading of a constitutional government, a free society, where actually the people of the state are group stalking with that government. And so you're understanding what is actually group stalking by the state on a 24-hour basis, doing so vicariously through the people of the state, and doing so directly, as I show you, the ongoing pattern of arriving, remaining, following in helicopters, which is state action in that demonic environment, pursuant to a demonic behavioral pattern. The people of the state are doing so. And so this is another video revealing the demonic environment, revealing demonic activity. And you also, as I point out this criminal system, you're going to pay attention to the patterns that I also point out. What the demon possessed listen to me expose about them. And all of the iterations of what is nothing less than despicable and terrorizing. When you are thinking of the fact that you have the demon possessed are performing surgery on you, and then, for example, giving you information regarding how there may or may not have been, a mistake, some sort of a shortcoming in some procedure that you were subject to that was performed on you, and you were told that it was, medical malpractice, for example. It was a mistake, an error. It was an oversight. You've been given prescription. You've even had abuse of prescriptions. You have in the medical field the abuse, pushing medical prescriptions in order to treat what are conditions that don't even require and should not be treated with medication that many times exacerbates what could be remedied through nature, through a proper diet, through a healthier lifestyle. All of these are relevant. They're indicative of the demon possessed that are in the medical field. And as I was in my apartment, and I'm subject to the pattern of conduct, which is a massive sex offense, corporate invasion of privacy, in the specific environment also, there is no coincidence with regard to all of the criminal system and all of the facets of that criminal system. And if you recall, in my apartment, I was specifically referencing the fact that you are not a hero in the medical field as a registered nurse, for example, when no one knows the fact that you're demon possessed. No one knows that you're engaging and working at a hospital where there's a fake sun and engineered light fills that hospital. And you're actually engaged in what is absolutely demented criminal activity under the guise of being revered as some sort of hero at a facilitating venue where you're facilitating surveillance and criminal obstruction of justice and in that medical field, and also even at that facility, for example, Arrowhead Regional Medical Center, where they're kidnapping American citizens. That's what I was subject to. And they're also demon-possessed group stalking inside of that facility. That, by the way, is how you have a fake sun setting in alignment to my bedroom in Los Angeles at the same apartment complex at the same time, literally even down on the same day. And I'm at the Arrowhead Regional Medical Center where this entity engaged in kidnapping and seeking to criminally defame me. That's how you get that. And so the demon possessed, specifically those that are in the medical field, arrived in relevant position at this property, delivering a prescription to, this is a demon coming onto the grounds, group stalking with the demons, stalking in helicopter in this video, in the demonic environment where the society, this environment full of demons who are group stalking together, listening to me point out all of the areas, all the industries that they're group stalking in, terrorizing, such as the medical field, and come onto the grounds and under the context of delivering medication, which is the same, crossing a path, stalking in the path with light, concerted conduct with the state in a helicopter, under the fake sun and amongst engineered light, the same pattern of conduct. Not a coincidence when I'm referencing specifically the medical field where a population of the demon-possessed terrorists are taking the lives of American citizens secretly and providing some other narrative regarding what happened regarding the loss of life or some sort of inability to save life, somebody whose life was in danger of, they couldn't survive. Or let me be clear, they're holding people's lives in their hands, whether or not deciding more often, whether they will actually use the tools that they have at their disposal, while demons that are targeting American citizens work in hospitals, wear scrubs, exercise control over drugs, medications, which are poisoning people, by the way, and not remedying health issues. I can go on and on and on with regard to all of the symptoms regarding the demon possession that is filling the medical field. And so you have RX to go. RX to go arrives in relevant position, and this is what you see down here at the bottom at 11:40 a.m. And RX to go is indicative of a demon in the medical field, working for the medical field, a contract worker associated with the medical field. The demons in that industry know exactly what I spoke to, and so you have them arriving via a third-party group stalker. This is an entity, a defeated one. This is what the entity does on an ongoing basis. A defeated entity will, under all circumstances, expose itself. Okay, because the federal government is going to focus its attention on the medical field, where terrorists are currently in the medical field, threatening the lives of American citizens, threatening the public safety concern is created by demons in the medical field. And I've documented them group stalking. And all you have to do is place a demon like Tiffany Sherez in a hospital working there. That's P.O.C. Okay, yeah, you need to remove that anywhere near that area, that industry. Okay, so the entity is engaging in what is arriving and having some relation to the medical field, which is not a coincidence. They're engaged in corporate invasion of privacy. The whole government is interested in everything that I say, what I think, how I articulate my thoughts, my analysis, everything I'm pointing out, obsessed with it, okay? Every syllable that I utter. The entity is also doing so while they're engaged in a sex offense. They're also, unfortunately and I'm going to make up a word, disgustingly concerned with my genitalia as my panties are down. That same obsession is occurring while I'm physically indisposed, while I'm engaging in private, personal activity, which no one should be interested in. Even if I were married, my husband should give me privacy. Let me use the bathroom in peace, please. Can we have a second of separate? This is not normal, this obsession that I'm exposing, and it is born of demon possession. So I want to make sure I am abundantly clear here. Demon possession, what Satan is doing amongst a people in the United States that work in the government, which is public corruption now becoming relevant, is the reason for. It is the context regarding this mental illness that is exposed based on the criminal conduct, based on the patterns of behavior, based on that which is occurring in an entirely demonic environment. It's a circus environment. This circus environment surrounds hospitals, surrounds demons driving ambulances to hospitals, surrounds demons driving ambulances that have custody of people who are perhaps relying on their competence, on their not serving Satan and deciding not to give them whatever medical care that they may need in the moment, and then being in a position to create the narrative regarding what happened to that person. This is the threat to the public safety. Okay, so when this is reality, I'm prosecuting, yes, but I'm giving you every example that I can possibly fathom. And Satan provides, it is providence, while Satan, who is obsessed with me, operates through a population and comes and literally gives me something to narrate off of so that you can recognize all of the areas in American society where the demon possessed need to be removed. Okay, so this is the context regarding RX to go, arriving in relevant position, group stalking, pursuant to real-time knowledge of my pointing out demons in the medical field, and they come to the grounds as a demon, delivering medication to a demon, group stalking with another demon that lives in the parking lot, while the demons are stalking in helicopter, while a fake sun is remaining over me, and a whole population, an environment of demons surround, living in relevant position and traveling in relevant position. Okay, so this is what captured again, 11:40 in the morning. I am walking down from my apartment. I want to be speaking to the level to which human beings are dragged when you bow down to Satan. This demon possession is manifesting itself in gross criminal activity, and it's also speaking to the unnatural behavior. So I'm facing building 1800 while I take my camera down from the fake sun that's over my head, and I'm at the same property in the afternoon. What you see above, I'm in the parking lot. I'm standing in the parking lot above. I'm facing this parking lot below at 11:40 in the morning. And if you'll recall, this is where I show the vehicle parked in the parking lot. And through the windshield of that vehicle at 3:47 in the afternoon, the fake sun is not over some Paul Bunyan library. It's right seen through the windshield of my vehicle that's parked on this property. This is the same parking lot that I'm facing right now at 11:40 in the morning, where a demon is parked in relevant position for purposes of crossing path. The vehicle is a method of light activity, audible activity, and as you will see, demonic pacing by the other demon that accompanies him to engage in ongoing pacing. They're moving back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And the engineer light, while the fake sun is over me, while I'm standing, a landmark. This is the same apartment building where the fake sun is present, as you see above, well after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This is the apartment building 1800. This is 1802. This is a build on the bottom. This is building 1800. Adjacent to building 1800 is this building right here, building 1802. And I'm showing it. You can see the parking spaces. Parking space number 32. Tina Reed's parking space number 33. I'm looking at where this third party is parked in front of building 1800. That is parking space number, let me see, for 1804 number 5. That is parking space number 25. This is parking space number 25 right here, where this third party comes onto the grounds in order to monitor me, and doing so, which is again a demon possessed population. You're understanding all of the ways in which passive aggressive psychopaths, violent sex offenders, obsessed in every regard, fail in their criminal and spiritual endeavors. Nonetheless, they are accomplishing an epic proportions, a federal prosecution, exposure on the world scene, because that's all that you're accomplishing, arriving under the guise of providing a medical prescription when I just so happen to be speaking about that inside of my apartment. So a demon arrives relevant to that industry, group stalking, in an environment where the fake sun is still present at this same apartment complex like I documented yesterday in the afternoon. So I want you to see this video, and I want you to recognize, again, another video showing the pattern of conduct. You can replace this demon with Carlo Lopez, Maria Solis Alvarez, Selena Robledo, Maria Hernandez, Juan Carlos, the entity that is group stalking under the guise of a company name. There's no difference. RX to go, speaker companies, interchangeable, not different. You're understanding what is a pattern of conduct amongst a population that's group stalking in the shoes of the government. And the unnatural conduct of those that are engaging in that P.O.C. 9 ECH 273 is illegally parked on the property because he's engaging in what is group stalking with LAPD, and openly doing so, having no defense to engage in to avoid federal prosecution. This is the state's means of maintaining presence all around me. They're also engaging in what is Title 18 crime. So this is building 1800. I'm walking toward the building. The fake sun is directly over my head. You're going to see it through the windshield of this demon's vehicle while he's on the ground claiming I'm delivering a prescription. That is the people of the state. Oh, I'm delivering a package. I'm delivering food. I'm coming up to pick up a customer. I'm returning home. I'm going to the grocery store. I have my daughter in my hand. I'm taking out the garbage. I'm walking the dog. I'm just driving through for funsies. It's all the elements of monitoring. They're all demons, and they're all focused on me at that. Very terrorizing, very sick. This is the reality of what Satan is consumed with. I'm talking to the church of the Lord Jesus Christ. Satan is consumed and obsessed with you, wants to keep you under surveillance, and is doing so through his minions, the demon-possessed, who are currently right now in the U.S. already operating a system of surveillance. You do not have any privacy. Okay? And it's consumed and obsessed with any and everything regarding your life. And I'm showing both aspects while the demons are creating an example regarding demon possession as it's a threat to the public safety while they're in the medical field. And also while I'm at this same apartment building, this is building 1800 that I'm standing in front of. The fake sun is over me, as you saw yesterday at this time. This is 3:58 p.m. I actually captured a video in depth where the same demons of the LAPD repeatedly arrived in helicopter. As I went from pictures to video because the entity was stalking in helicopter. So I immediately went from these pictures into video, and those videos are already uploaded. But this is the same apartment building. This is building 1800. This is it right here. I'm standing in front of this apartment building into the afternoon. This is 4:54 p.m. and I'm facing it at 11:40 where a demon is delivering a prescription medication, and doing so because I'm referencing the demons of the medical field while I'm inside of my apartment, subject to Title 18 criminal activity, corporate invasion of privacy, and the sex offenders like to pace around me while my panties are down. Okay, they like to wait. Okay, her panties are down. Let's pace around now. Let's sound helicopter activity now while we know her genitalia is exposed, while we know she's touching herself in order to relieve herself, while we know that her legs are open. Let's amplify audible activity now. Let's do it now. That's the mindset of a sex offender. And that's all they're doing. That's why you have a fake sun. That's why engineer light is bouncing all across. That's why you're in a circus environment, because you're not doing anything but group stalking. And because it's happening while I'm on the clock, Speaker Companies is going to be prosecuted for the sexual violence that it is engaging and facilitating as an entity. That's also stalking in helicopters. Right, here's the light source that's no longer over the top of my apartment. As I walk away from it, so does the fake sun move away from it. This is not the sun that would be rising outside of my living room window, and it's still here at the same location, and it's over me at the same location, and the entity is also amplifying helicopter activity. Let me be clear, that's directly relevant to how long everybody that lives here is going to federal prison. They're all engaging in state surveillance with the government. And that includes while demons such as RX to go come onto the ground to participate in the state system, that impunity is going on to the account of every third-party group stalker that's living at a crime scene, working at a crime scene, working amongst a targeted individual for a third-party company, or a third-party vendor associated with the third-party company. Everybody I'm documenting coming onto the ground, such as California Star Construction, he's going to federal prison, and he's going for a long time. And his impunity is the same impunity as all the demons that live at Alvarado Gardens who have devoted their lifestyle to group stalking. That's how committed they are. That's how worthy you are of federal prison. That is now at this point providing evidence against them, and nobody can help them in federal court where they will be standing by themselves. This is P.O.C. with regard to what is exposing federal group stalking and monitoring. Okay? So So that's the entity that's stalking in helicopters on an ongoing basis. This is exactly what was documented yesterday while I'm capturing the fake sun, while I'm standing at the same exact apartment building. Building 1800, where LAPD was stalking, tracking steps, engaging in Title 18 criminal conduct. That's exactly what Sanitized Pros is engaging in. While I'm documenting that on my phone in my office, minding my business, right? I'm just making it up as I go. But you have a pattern amongst a pattern. Somebody that is far from any sort of paranoid schizophrenia. This is indeed state surveillance in violation of federal law in concert with an entire population who are maintaining presence around you, stalking through the convenience, the providence of Satan himself that keeps an engineered environment, a circus environment, a fake sun and engineered light, replete with demons stalking in helicopters so that the people of the state can conveniently engage in what is surveillance with that entity. That's the reality of what RX is not coincidentally engaging in while I happen to be referencing the medical field inside of my apartment where a fake sun is remaining over me. And I'm walking toward this apartment building 1800 that you see above me with the fake sun at 3:58 in the afternoon. And this is, again, you'll see the light source over my head as I approach this third party. And I am at parking space number 25. Let me be clear. Number 25 is adjacent to, I'm standing here, number 33. So let's count 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 31, 32, 33. This is the same line of vehicles right here. Spaces away. Building 1802 is adjacent to building 1800. And I am capturing here you go. This is building, right, oops, hold on. I want to zoom in, not zoom out. This is where I'm tapping right here where you can, not the pictures, where you see this window, where you see Lorraine Pena's vehicle, right here to the right of Lorraine Pena's vehicle. That's where this demon is parked right here at 11:40 in the morning with license 9ECH273. And this is captured at what is 4:54 p.m. And he is indeed going to federal prison while LAPD arrives, putting Giovanni with Sanitized Pros in federal prison. Well, no, Giovanni did that to himself. And also this third party with RX to go is going to federal prison while LAPD terrorizes me, which while they are arriving, acting with that corrupt government that is unintelligent, unsophisticated, under no circumstances elite, and is also serving for the prosecution for Dominic Choi, a terrorist organizer, a terrorist leader, who's not going to be treated like different from any other foreign terrorist. So you're a domestic enemy, and you will be treated like the enemy that you are. You're not getting away with terrorizing this American citizen, and you're going to literally sit in a cell for it. You're also a violent sex offender. You are also not helping this demon, 9ECH273, who's going to federal prison. While you threaten the life of an American citizen, so does this third party arriving in concert with you, literally on video, and right now while you are engaged in Title 18 criminal conduct at 12:26 p.m. where a fake sun is still present. Not distracting from the point of this video. That you're a stalker. And this is specifically to Dominic Choi and every demon currently wearing badges with the LAPD. I will be removing those badges. You're just waiting. You're not keeping those positions, and you will be going to federal prison. The LAPD, you have disgraced it, and it is not something that we need. We will start over again without you. And making a point in this country and in the world that it will not be tolerated what you're doing as a corrupt government actor, having no authority. You're dizzy demons stalking in helicopters. And you think someone is distracted when they see you chasing down the people of the state on the freeway under a fake sun? It's going to be noted at the same time what I'm speaking to and what you're doing at the same time. Do you know what governs? Do you know what controls? Do you know what's going to result in your disbanding? This criminal activity, not what you want to be the narrative on the news where the people of the state are showing you chasing down the people of the state in a car chase. You're actually stalking American citizens. You're surveilling them. And you're incriminating this one. This one, 9ECH273, is going to federal prison. Group stalking with Marie Front Salon. This is pacing. This is what's pacing. And this demon is going to come right to the window of this vehicle. And you're going to watch them engage in group stalking. And you know that they're demons. And you know that they're group stalking. And you know that they're doing so with the demons of the LAPD. Because at the same parking spot where I'm showing you at the bottom at 11:40, I'm showing you the same parking spot at the same apartment building at 4:54 in the afternoon, where that fake sun is still over me at 1 location, literally the same location. And also, while that entity is also on video, pay attention to the video that I documented yesterday, which was July 8, 2024. And the entity is stalking helicopter repeatedly. Why? Because people like our ex to go, who I'm going to civilly and criminally prosecute, who are informing, serving to advise the public, the American public, regarding demon possession amongst hospitals, amongst EMT workers, amongst those who are in possession of your medication, telling you, prescribing you, advising you about what you need to put in your body, about the demons that are performing surgery. They're sitting in hospitals right now, in medical facilities, having been trained through these corrupt institutions, getting their medical degrees in this corrupt society, and then they're out here engaging in terrorism under the guise of a free society. This is all of the greater macro level of analysis that you can provide. There's the greater context is this is all a farce. They're group stalkers who happen to be in the medical field, coming and delivering medication, and then while I'm documenting it, the terrorism that they are engaging in continues to remain while they just drive on and off of the property, and their demons doing so under a fake sun that you can see through the windshield of the vehicle. Multiple shadows and light that's moving around in what's supposed to be the shade. This is P.O.C. and this is a demon, a psychopath, illegally parked. Hi, can I help you? I just want to make sure you see this demon. He's going to federal prison. So is Marie Front Salon. This is pacing. These demons are paying close attention to me, as opposed to him having a conversation about me as I'm asking him a question. He's present from the outset to engage in state surveillance with the government that's on video stalking in helicopter in an environment where the sun is present for an excess of 12 hours in a day, exclusive to evidence that's already on the record, speaking to the maintenance, including today at the Paul Bryan Library in Rancho Cucamonga, where there is no sun that's going to be seen through his windshield, at Alvarado Gardens, where there's no sunlight or light activity that's going to be created by this demon, Marie Front Salon, and this demon driving this vehicle while they're pacing back and forth. That's the significance of their movement under a fake sun in engineered light, in concert with demons that are stalking in helicopters. And they're both going to federal prison. And while the entity is stalking in a helicopter while I'm inside of my office, not helping. This is relevant to how long, when they plead for leniency in federal court, you are not getting leniency. You're not getting it. Because this impunity that the state engages in, they engage in this impunity, they engage in this terrorism, they engage in sexual violence, they engage in ongoing psychological torture and torment, arriving relevant to the medical field. While you know I am exposing demons in the medical field, while you're corporately invading privacy, engaging in state surveillance, you're going to federal prison. No one's going to have leniency on you. You're acting pursuant to a statewide pattern of conduct, but this particular demon is going to federal prison for it. He's going to federal prison for it. He's engaging in conduct on behalf of the whole entity, though. And this is recognizing demon possession. This is indeed a demon-possessed person, and so is Marie Front Salon. Do not be confused because Marie Front Salon appears disheveled, because she appears sloppy in her appearance, because she sounds as though she's speaking gibberish. That has nothing to do with demon possession. Just want to be clear. The high-level deception that Satan is executing, is where you will draw a superficial and unfounded distinction amongst demons who are calling themselves doctors and lawyers and judges and property management directors and a chief of police and judges and mayors and governors. Okay, I can go on. I want to be clear. There's no distinction. There's no distinction. There is a creation in your mind, and that's deliberate, that there's a difference between this disheveled demon in the background who's going to add herself to the video documentation, and versus him who's coming here and delivering medication as merely an independent contractor. Whatever his specific status is, his status is a third party, and he's representing what is criminal presence and light activity and audible activity creation, literally in concert with the demons who continue to provide evidence against him. So every single aspect of that P.O.C., you're going to federal prison, and there will be a constitutional mandate, a federal mandate regarding how many years you're going to federal prison. And this will serve to deter federal group stalking and monitoring in this country. And the evidence that I continue to gather day to day, moment by moment, minute by minute, while the entity acts with lawlessness, demons such as Dominic Choi and the LAPD are showing no regard for your constitutional human rights, for your very safety and your right to not be subject to it. The entity wants to threaten your life and threaten your ability to survive while they're terrorizing you in the workplace. And then literally the employees of that workplace are group stalking you with that government. You're talking about a constitutional mandate. A baseline, meaning you go to federal prison for no less than XYZ when you are documented engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring with the state. And the evidence, the criminal system supports nothing less than that. It is justice. And I want to be clear. This impunity is attributed to the whole entity. While that direct actor is going to federal prison, this direct actor this is vicarious criminal activity. He is engaging in it directly. He's personally acting on behalf of the entity. But I want to be clear, he is going to federal prison for it. Everybody that lives at Alvarado Gardens is group stalking with him. Everybody, including Marie France Salon. Remember, this is public corruption. All the demons act together. It's teamwork. It's demonic teamwork to move around in the engineered light, to maintain audible activity under the light source and engineered light, to look to the left and the right while you're doing nothing but stalking someone. You don't even have a genuine existence. You're concerned about someone else. And that's the reality of demon possession and group stalking. And you are distracted thinking that life is about getting and accumulating a certain salary, having a certain lifestyle, appearing a certain way on social media, and you could not be more asleep at the wheel while you're being targeted by a bunch of demons who are trying to rob you of your true identity in Christ. If you know who that is yet, if you even know who you are, this is a wake-up call, because this right here, this is clown behavior, and they're going to federal prison for it. Very serious, very, very serious. But these are clowns. This is a circus. The fake sun is still over me. I'm standing in front of building 1800. Look at it.
Yeah, I was just delivering a medication, so I'm parking one way there.
And if he's not a natural born citizen, this particular demon is then going to be deported. There are so many here engaging in un-American conduct with the corrupt government. They can't speak the language. They are engaged. They're not naturally born here. They've been granted the privilege to be here, and they're here violating an American citizen's constitutional rights. And yet you agreed to be here. You accepted that privilege on the basis that you would respect and honor the Constitution. And you are doing the exact opposite with the government. The government is doing it with you. Yes, you're going to federal prison, and yes, you're going to be permanently deported. Where you retire, how you're going to support yourself, how you're not going to be able to collect Section 8 welfare anymore. You're not going to be able to collect money off of the kids that you're collecting from the government. That's not anyone else's problem. You will no longer prostitute the system while you're here abusing it and violating constitutional rights of other people because you are demon possessed. So like I said, this is a circus environment.
You're delivering medications?
Yeah.
Oh, curious. What company are you delivering medications with?
RX to go.
Alex?
RX to go.
Oh, RX to go? Noted. Thank you. Yeah, there's no parking here. I'm the manager. Just wanted to get that.
Parking spot number 26, just to be clear, this is where we're standing. I am facing parking number 26. This is the corner right here. This is park spot number 26. The fake sun is over me. This is called 4:54 p.m. That's called the specific environment, not the natural environment. I am standing adjacent. This is building 1800. Building 1802, I'm looking at parking space number 32. I'm standing at 3130, where the light source is seen through the windshield on the opposite side of the same parking lot. This is a very small apartment complex. Okay, you can see through the windshield of the vehicle. This is at 3:47 in the afternoon. I do go into substantial video after I capture these images, because this is exactly where LAPD began stalking a helicopter crossing path because of the substance of what they know I'm capturing. And what it's doing is putting demons like this in federal prison. Marie France is going to federal prison. Her daughter's going to federal prison. The African-American, I'm assuming he's African. He's an olive skin male. He's a psychopath. You've seen many videos, evidence, which is evidence to that. And he's going to federal prison driving the blue SUV. They're all going to federal prison, and they're group stalking with LAPD on more than one occasion on video. Okay. This is the light source that is over me at 11:40 in the morning, and I'm facing parking space number 26. Okay. Where you can see this vehicle behind this white SUV. This vehicle up here is parked adjacent to it. This one right here where I'm standing, this is parked adjacent to it. You can see it parked in the handicap spot. You see the handicap spots over here. I just want you to understand big picture what it is that you're looking at. This is not small. This is non-movement. This vehicle down here at the bottom is parked adjacent to where the vehicle that you can see here, where you see the light source through the windshield, the rear windshield of that vehicle. Okay, understand where I'm located. This is the same exact location. Same exact location, okay? The entity is keeping a fake sun, stalking in helicopter, doing so while you are waiting for me to come down so that you can make a statement as a bunch of demons who are waiting to be plucked out of the medical field, making my point regarding the public safety concern that exists while you are in that industry, engaging in group stalking, terrorism, and facilitation, silencing American citizens who are subject to this criminal conduct. And you're doing so exposing the fact that you're demon-possessed and engaged in Title 18 criminal conduct. So this is what I want to point out. This is the apartment building. And this is essentially the video that I captured yesterday, but this demon coming onto the grounds. And as you'll review this video that I captured today at 11:40 and listen to everything that I'm articulating regarding the pattern of conduct and what the entity knows as it engages in this psychotic behavior. This is speaking to, if you do not know the Lord Jesus, if you have not already surrendered to him, he is the only defense, the only protection against this conduct. This is not just criminal activity. This is the outworking of that which is occurring inside of you. You don't have a defense against demon possession. You don't have a defense against the strong man as he's referred to in scripture. Okay, it is only the sealing of the Holy Spirit. And I'm speaking spiritually, yes, and I don't mean to preach. Actually, I do. The purpose of this is to preach, but also I want to make sure that you recognize it is so pathetic to be existing, because this is not living what they're doing. They're existing, and they're targeting someone who is exposing all of their dirty laundry while doing it. While I'm exposing a demon that's stalking, delivering on behalf of the LAPD, which represents the state, in an environment where the fake sun is still present at the same location. 11:40, let's count the hours together. 11:12, 1, 2, 3, 4, because I have even after 3:48, this is the same apartment building. This is the same exact building right here. This is building 1800. This is where I'm standing, where you see this light source.
You're delivering medications?
Yeah.
Oh, curious. What company are delivering medications? Over the windshield. Hi.
I'm literally standing at the same position with my back to this entrance up here, and the fake sun is over me. This is captured at 3:58, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's non-movement. This is not the sun that's going to maintain that presence. I'm showing you what is the malice of a demon-possessed population wanting to appear, oh, I'm just delivering something. You're a demon-possessed group stalker, acting in conformity to the pattern of conduct by that entire population. It is exposing simultaneously what Satan is doing amongst a people. Okay, conspiring against one person. That's the why regarding the unnatural environment. It's demonic. Why is the demonic environment there? Because the people of the state, this is nothing other than a legal title to prosecute you, because the demons are stalking. So the demons that are stalking, that are not working directly as an employee of the government, for example, Dominic Choi, this is vicarious criminal activity. You're doing so in sync with the demons that are always stalking in a helicopter. There's no distinction between stalking in a helicopter and stalking in your vehicle with license 9ECH273. Now we're just getting to what's a superficial veil, what Satan is doing amongst all of the entity. So they have legal titles for purposes of prosecuting them. All of the facets of the state's criminal system, vicarious criminal activity, a demon, group stalking, and you also know what I'm talking about in my apartment while you arrive, relevant to the medical field. Doing so, that's fine. People need to know that demons fill the hospitals. They're prescribing you medication. They're performing surgery on you. They're exercising control over your person when you're not conscious. Okay, they're speaking to what are so-called mistakes and mishaps and oversights, which is providing you tortuous recovery in court, but it's not a mistake. It's not an oversight. You're dealing with Satan. Okay, and so I want to be clear. This is malice and everything regarding the reality that we actually live in, where Satan is operating amongst a corrupt entity. And it's occurring in California. Like I said, what's happening in California, it's happening in every other state. It's happening in every other state. And you also know that because of the light source that's over you wherever you're at. It's not the sun. While you're looking at evidence of the so-called sun seen through the windshield of this demon that's group stalking, and you know that this fake sun is directly over my head. This is called pacing. Marie Front Salon under a fake sun is pacing back and forth. This is a demon. Demons are pacing all around in helicopters for 47 minutes. Demons are pacing in helicopter over the bank where I'm a patron. Demons are pacing back and forth as a group, and you're thinking you're looking at traffic. You're looking at demons that are pacing back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And they're doing it in a remarkable environment. And this is what you see Marie Front Salon engaging in with this demon inside of this vehicle. She's walking back and forth, moving back and forth toward the door, away from the door, toward the door, away from the door. And he is opening up the door, he's popping his head in and out of the door. These demons are pacing. And they're doing it under the light source. They're creating light activity. They're monitoring. And they're also psychopaths. They don't want you to know about their deranged mindset. This is the public safety concern. It's a threat to your life. They're not well in the head. The spirit of Satan on a human being is a threat to the public. Satan is the ultimate narcissist, if you will, the ultimate psychopathic murderer, the ultimate sex offender, sex trafficker. That spirit is what fills a population that's group stalking, that doesn't have a criminal record today, that's maliciously engaging what has taken the lives of American citizens while working in a hospital today and providing a narrative, covering it up, and you don't even know. You're engaging in a professional investigation for administrative hearings. Maybe they'll lose their license. Maybe they're in the medical field anymore. Maybe not, depending on what that corrupt agency finds. It's the system, and I'm showing you all the iterations of what is public corruption. And I am subject to what is stalking. The government is stalking. The government is stalking through the people. And they're all demons. They're all demons. And I want to be clear, engaging in stalking an American citizen where you can see the windshield through the vehicle in the parking lot. I am in the same parking lot. You can see through the windshield of the vehicle. I'm in the same parking lot. This is 3 o'clock. This is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. This is this parking lot that he's driving in. And the fake sun is right over my head. This is a demon coming onto the grounds. No, aware of the fact that I'm referencing the medical field, and I went through to this extent to show you this video because not only is he going to federal prison while the entity is threatening my life while I document the people of the state. This is exactly what Giovanni with Sanitized Pros is going. He's going to federal prison while the entity threatens my life while I'm documenting your criminal activity. You're a terrorist. You're a terrorist and a demon-possessed one. You're a government actor. You want to masquerade as you're an employee for a third-party company as though you're exercising some constitutional rights, some privacy rights, and you're not. That's called malice. It's the state. That's why, by the way, the state is stalking in this video in helicopter. That's why the state is stalking in video every day, by the way.
What the people of the state calling themselves a company, engaging in a business, and I'm exposing federal group
the
stalking
entity is
and
group
monitoring.
stalking in helicopter every single day, everywhere that I go. And I will just remind you as I punctuate the fact that that third party is going to federal prison. Yes, he is. He's going to federal prison, group stalking, just like this
White
third
girl
party is.
and the blackface one.
While, again, all races, that's what I'm speaking to. It doesn't matter whether you're white, doesn't matter whether you're black. It doesn't matter whether you claim Black Lives Matter, whether you're white claiming that Black Lives Matter. Black lives don't matter when they're not demon-possessed like you, however, and you're terrorizing them. While you are still organizing and having such rallies about how much Black Lives Matter. Okay, that's what I'm speaking to. You can go into every aspect, everything that you have heard uttered by the people of the state. And this is where the entity is engaged in the P.O.C, where the entity is stalking in helicopters in an environment where the fake sun is directly over the top of my head. Nowhere near Alvarado Gardens, in conformity to a pattern of conduct, however. This is a P.O.C that the entity is sharing as an entire state.
This entire state. She's going to federal prison, and that's impunity. She's going for a long time, too. This is the absence of any sun over Alvarado Gardens. And let me be clear, the terrorist leader, Dominic Choi, his time in federal prison is also going to be determined by what he's doing in concert with the population. All right? So they are acting with ongoing lawlessness, keeping me under... Still continue as I can. Yes, you're going to federal prison for that. So it is currently, again, 11:26 a.m.
I just want you to see the light source as I'm forwarding, as it's remaining, and it's zenith over me, and you're looking at the pattern. A demon walking to the grocery store, a demon delivering a prescription to another demon. And traffic. This is a streets and highways filled with traffic. Streets and highways filled with demons who are pacing while a fake sun remains over me. And by the way, nowhere near the Paul Bunyan Library, where it remains until after 5 p.m., as I documented on this day in 2022. There is no reconciling the specific environment and the pattern of terrorism using helicopters and the demonic behaviors of the people of the state. It is federal group stalking and monitoring. Giovanni with Sanitized Pros is going to federal prison, engaging in Title 18 surveillance in the workplace, harassment in the workplace. And doing so while I am documenting it, engaging in documented acts of terrorism, stalking me again in a helicopter to communicate a threat, to intimidate and harass as an entity that is indeed engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. This is exactly what RX to Go is engaging in. while a fake sun remains as I'm literally in front of the same apartment building at the end of the day. This is the entity that is engaging in, let's take a big picture analysis, and I'm going to end this video because where I'm showing you where the entity is maintaining this light source, it's literally in front of one building. This one right here. Parking space number 20, I'm standing in front of this parking space right here, parking space number 25, and I'm facing building 1800. This fake sun is remaining over the same building at 1140, and again, as I'm standing at that same apartment building, which is what I also captured in video, and the fake sun is over the top of my head at the same exact location, at the same address. Not just the address, but it's over me at that location. That's the pattern of conduct. Where the entity is terrorizing via helicopters, where the entity is terrorizing via directed light, where the entity is engaging in what is demonic pacing. While a population of cockroaches pace around me, that is prosecution for the entire state for federal group stalking and monitoring. It's terrorism. This is not a movie such as I Am Legend, where a bunch of dead, hollowed out zombies, but that's what they are. That's what they are engaging in. You are just not aware of what you're looking at. It's right in your face. Okay, because we haven't gotten to the point to where they're looking as demonic as they are on the inside. And by the way, just because you can't see into the spirit doesn't mean that they don't look like, they very much do look like it. But they are trying to put on logos on their person, on their vehicles, on their planes. They're carrying props. I'm looking like I'm doing something. I'm performing some duty. I'm engaged in some execution of my job as a driving an ambulance. I'm going to rescue someone. That's why I'm creating light activity and crossing path and audible activity while the fake sun is remaining over me. The demons want to look like they're doing something. And all they're doing is engaging in surveillance. That's it. And there's coming a time where the demons are going to show their fangs. The blood will be dripping from the side of their mouths, if you will. They're not going to hide their hostility anymore. That's what's going on. Okay? And it's a population filled with demon possession. And it's inspiring what is criminal conduct. Okay? So I want you to look at this because Dominic Choi is going to federal prison. This is amplification. Right over me. Under the fake sun. Not setting on fire. Not setting on fire. Under the fake sun that's at the same location, by the way. It's at the same location. And that's amplification. The entity does the same thing in helicopters. And what do demons do when they're hostile? They act out their hostility by group stalking, which it's not helping anybody. That's not helping anyone. Everybody here is going to federal prison, every single last person. The inability to control yourself from engaging in what is unlawful, from what is inappropriate, from what is a violation of another, that establishes what is the grounds of federal prison for a prolonged term. The entity is doing that through FedEx, UPS, commercial planes. The entity is doing so through helicopters. The entity is doing so through the people of the state that are using their own helicopters. I want to be clear, the people of the state, such as the news, they use helicopters as well. I just want to be clear, you need to remove any and every exception that you have in your mind, because there is no exception. This isn't the sun, and this is not the Paul Bryan Library in Rancho Cucamonga, and this is also not the sun because it's still here at the end of the day over my head, which you saw on video, literally, and pictures. And a demon wants to deliver a prescription. Okay, so you're understanding, get past that. These are psychopaths, and this is terrorism. And there's a price to pay. I'm going to prosecute you civilly, I'm going to prosecute you criminally, and you're going exactly where you belong. Many of whom in mental facilities, just like they have done to the American citizens in this country who are sitting kidnapped right now. They belong in mental facilities, and they belong in federal prison, where many American citizens, I myself, have been kidnapped inside of a jail where these demons were pacing around, just like you see Marie Front Salon and the demon driving the white SUV under a fake sun that's still here. Not anywhere. The fake sun remains right here, setting in alignment to my apartment at this property. Where you're hearing amplified audible activity and a demon flying over, that's what the demons of the LAPD are doing over and over and over again. And it's pursuant to Title 18 criminal conduct, and it incriminates all the people of the state in that environment. Everybody's going to federal prison here, and the whole population is going to be prosecuted for what is massive surveillance in the state of California. It is currently 12:52 p.m. where you're looking at the fake sun that's still over the same leasing office, and then it's still over my head in its zenith in the same position while I am at my apartment complex, which is what I continue to document as I go to my apartment. So let's just look at that really quick, and then I'm going to conclude this because the entity is, this is my apartment at 11:06. It's currently 12:52. The fake sun
is still in a position over my head. Not only am I still at the same address, but it's over my head at the same address, not the sun. And when I walk back to my apartment, which is right down this sidewalk, the fake sun remains over me, over the top of my head at that same location, where you're hearing amplification of plane engines. Understand the pattern. Don't marry yourself to the image. Understand the pattern. Amplification, crossing a path, fake sun, pattern within the pattern. I'm exposing the criminal conduct, demon possession. So goes the entity stalking in a manner of aircraft. But let me be clear, LAPD is done. They're done, because you already know what LAPD is doing. About putting a white plane over me, which I've been documenting the entity stalked my planes and helicopters for years. And that's just the one that flew right over my head, which is a threat to your life. And because the entity thinks that it can drive off the property and then stalk in a helicopter because Rudy Padilla drove off and you don't physically see him, that you're accepted from going to federal prison, that's the delusional psychopath. That's equally threatening to your life, okay? P.O.C. Equally threatening to your life. The whole property is going to federal prison because they're engaged in not only terrorism, living in relevant position, that level of devotion to a corrupt government, engaged in that level of conspiring to discard an American citizen. Okay, the Lord knows how many other people have been permanently discarded, if you will. Okay, sitting around kidnapped somewhere by the conspiracies that are underway by a corrupt government, removing American citizens that it thinks doesn't have a right to be free, and does it in concert with those that surround you. Okay, they're in custody of minor children. They're working in hospitals. They're working for law enforcement agencies. They clearly have a possession of pilot licenses. The federal government is going to dip into that. And I put it in those terms specifically because these are all means whereby the federal government is limiting access where this population, this public corruption can threaten the lives and engage in such methods of surveillance. Outside of a criminal record and being documented for group stalking, you'll never be flying a helicopter or an airplane. You won't. You won't even be able to access your children after you get out of federal prison. I'm talking specifically to these that live here. Okay, this impunity is speaking to a threat that you remain after your children are removed from your custody. It is currently 12:54 p.m. That was literally punctuating my point while an entity flies over my head with amplification of a volume of the plane flying directly over my head. That's recognizing targeting, and you also know it's targeting because this isn't even the sun and it's still here also at the end of the day. You know what the whole population is doing, and the whole population threatens you while you're subject to it because you're prosecuting all of them at the same time. Okay, and this is nothing other than a testimony to how good the Lord God is, the Lord Jesus Christ, the only true and living God, by the way. All right, there is no other. It is currently 12:55 p.m. This is P.O.C.